Imagine trusting your ride home and ending up stranded at a gas station at 1 a.m. with a $25 bill you never planned to pay. Yeah, that actually happened. So here's the situation. Last night, this guy went out with friends. One of them, let's call her Sarah, offered to be the driver. She said she wasn't drinking. She said she'd stay sober. Basically, the responsible one of the group. Everyone felt relieved. Safe plan, no worries. The night goes great. Music's loud, everyone's having fun. Then around 1 a.m., things suddenly change. Sarah says she's too tired and wants to leave. Now, he tells her straight up, "Hey, I'm good staying. I'll just Uber home later." Simple solution, right? But Sarah keeps insisting. She says she feels responsible for him. She refuses to leave without him. At this point, it turns awkward. They're in the middle of a club. Nobody wants a full argument. So he gives in. He leaves early, even though he didn't want to. And emotionally, he's already a little annoyed, maybe confused. But whatever. Ride secured, problem solved. Or so he thinks. They get to the car, and that's when the real twist hits. Sarah suddenly says, "Actually, I'm going to my boyfriend's place. It's closer." Except it's 20 minutes in the opposite direction from his home. Now he's uncomfortable, but he assumes she'll still drop him off afterward. Nope. She pulls into a gas station near her boyfriend's house, stops the car, and tells him to just call a ride from there. At 1 a.m., in a random gas station parking lot. You can imagine the feeling. Confused, irritated, maybe even a little betrayed. Because remember, he already had a plan to Uber from the club. So he opens the app. Surge pricing. The ride home costs $25. Not life-changing money, but still annoying, especially because it felt unnecessary. If she had just left him at the club like he asked, he would have paid and moved on. But instead, he felt pressured to leave early, only to be dropped halfway so she could see her boyfriend. And honestly, it stopped being about money. It became about principle. The next day, he Venmo requests her the $25. Simple, calm, no drama. But now, Sarah's mad. She says he's ungrateful because she already gave him a ride. And some friends agree, saying he's being petty over just $25. Now he's stuck wondering, was requesting the money fair? Or did he cross a line? Because here's the real question. Is this about $25 or about expectations, responsibility, and respecting someone's time and trust? In personal finance, and honestly in friendships, small amounts of money often reveal big relationship dynamics. So what do you think? Was he right to request the $25? Or should he have just let it go and called it the cost of a night out? Drop your opinion in the comments. I want to see where you stand on this one. Imagine trusting your friend with your apartment and coming home to find they casually drank a $120 bottle of wine you were saving to celebrate your promotion. Yeah, that actually happened. So this woman, 26 years old, asks her friend, a 27-year-old guy, to watch her place and take care of her cat for the weekend. Pretty normal favor, right? Before leaving, she tells him the classic line, "Help yourself to whatever's in the kitchen." You know, snacks, soda, maybe leftovers, normal guest stuff. She comes back a few days later. Everything looks fine at first. The cat's happy, the apartment's clean, but then she opens the kitchen cabinet and her stomach drops. Her vintage Barolo wine is gone. Not just opened, completely finished. This wasn't cheap wine either. It was a $120 bottle she'd been saving for a huge personal milestone, her promotion celebration. And he drank it, alone, while watching Netflix. She felt shocked, confused, honestly kind of betrayed. So she asked him about it, and instead of apologizing, he got defensive. He said, "Well, you told me to help myself. The wine was in the kitchen." Now she's thinking, hold on, there's an unspoken rule when you're a guest, right? Help yourself doesn't mean grab the most expensive thing in the house. That's like someone saying you can use their garage and you driving off in their car. So she tries to keep things reasonable. She doesn't even charge him the full amount. She sends a Venmo request for $80, basically giving him a discount. And that's when things get messy.
He calls her tacky, then tells their group chat she's a bad host for asking him to pay. Now she's stuck questioning herself. Is she overreacting? Is this just about money? Or did her friend take advantage of her generosity? Because yeah, it's only $120, but at the same time, it wasn't just wine. It was something meaningful she saved for a special moment. And now that moment is gone. So what do you think? Was she being reasonable, asking for the money back? Or did she cross the line by sending that Venmo request? Let me know what you would have done in this situation.
She saved every dollar for 3 years, and the moment her mom saw her bank balance, half of it was suddenly owed. So here's the situation. A 19-year-old college student, still living at home, working part-time since she was 16. Not shopping, not partying, not wasting money. While most people her age were spending, she was saving. Slowly, carefully, dollar by dollar. And after years of discipline, she finally built up about $4,000 in savings. For her, that money meant security, a future apartment, emergency backup, freedom. Then one small moment changed everything. Last week, her mom asked for help transferring money for groceries. Her card supposedly wasn't working. So the daughter logged into her banking app right there. And that's when her mom saw it. The balance. $4,000. Her mom didn't say much at first. Just quiet. But later that night, the conversation came. Her mom told her that since she's living under the same roof, she should contribute more. She said it was selfish to keep so much money saved while the family was struggling. Then came the request. Not $100, not help with groceries, $2,000, half her savings. Her mom said she could always earn it back. Now here's the twist. The family isn't in a financial emergency. Her mom has a full-time job. They're not wealthy, but they're stable. And the daughter already pays for her own school expenses, her phone bill, and even groceries sometimes. That savings account wasn't extra cash, it was her safety net. So she said she wasn't comfortable giving that much, and that's when things got emotional. Her mom called her ungrateful, said she was acting like a tenant instead of a daughter. Soon, relatives got involved too. Family helps family, they said. But the daughter couldn't shake one feeling. If her mom hadn't seen the balance, would she have ever asked? Now she feels anxious, guilty, and honestly, a little betrayed. She worked for years to build financial stability, and now saying no makes her look selfish. So now she's wondering, did she protect her future or fail her family? What do you think? Should she have shared half her savings, or was she right to set a financial boundary? Drop your opinion in the comments, because this one really divides people. If you like, subscribe our YouTube channel and hit bell icon. Next story. Imagine going to class every day, and your teacher refuses to call you by your own name. Not a nickname, not a joke, just something you never agreed to. My name is John Paul, but nobody calls me that. Friends call me JP, family calls me JP. Even teachers usually call me JP, except one person. My high school Spanish teacher. On the first day of class, he looked at the attendance sheet, paused, and then said, "Jotape." The whole class laughed. Honestly, I laughed too. It sounded funny. I thought it was just a one-time joke, but it wasn't. The next day, Jotape. The day after that, Jotape. Every single class. At first, I tried to ignore it. Maybe he'd stop on his own, but he didn't. And slowly, it stopped being funny. It started feeling uncomfortable, embarrassing, like I wasn't being taken seriously. So after class one day, I finally spoke up. I said, "Hey, could you just call me JP? That's what everyone calls me." Simple request, right? But my teacher shook his head. He told me this was Spanish class, and he was simply pronouncing my initials the Spanish way. He said he wasn't insulting me, he wasn't being rude, he was just translating my name. Technically, maybe he was right. But here's the thing. Even if something is harmless, does that mean you have to like it?
Now, every time he says Hotape, the class snickers a little. And I just sit there, feeling awkward, wishing he'd just use my actual nickname. It's not about language anymore. It's about respect. I'm not asking him to change the curriculum. I'm not asking for special treatment. I just want to be called me. So now I'm stuck wondering, am I overreacting? Or is it reasonable to want your own name respected, even in a language class? What do you think? Is the teacher just doing his job, or should he respect the student's preference? Let me know how you'd handle this situation. Now let us know next story.